Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
okay, perfect. Excellent. Well, I am. I'm so excited about what's happening across the region, across the company, actually. There's lots of great things that are starting to happen. And, this is like my 36th summer, and I've seen a bunch of summers. This summer, there's absolutely uh, every indication that this is going to be a special summer. It's going to be awesome. I know for some of you, you obviously some of you are ahead of last year already in May, which is a great sign. But there's also a few of you that are pacing differently than maybe what you've experienced the last couple of years. That's totally okay. Every indicator is showing that things are happening and happening in a very exciting fashion. It's just that some things are rolling out a little different with mailers and timing and schools compared to COVID, where kids were kind of in school, not in school, all that kind of stuff. So, look, right now, I'm just telling you, we're having some of the best recruiting days that we've had ever in May. We've got some really exciting things that have happened, especially in the last 4 to 5 days. And one of the things, just to remind everybody here, is that you're just one good launch. I would even say you're one good kid, one good PR collection from having the greatest summer that you've ever had. And it's amazing how fast things could turn. I remember one year in Houston where I was pulling my hair out. I could not get anything to happen. I had zero momentum. My AMs had quit. My ERAs had quit. I was literally answering my own mailer phone calls, freaking out, going, "Am I going to miss the summer? Like, what has happened?" It's like I had like one silver cups, and like I was like having a little confidence shake at the moment, and I I was able to just schedule a couple of sharp kids, and it was just me, but it got me fired up. I changed my perspective. I started talking about how great things were going to be. I started telling people that they got to join this team, that now's the best time to get in, that they were getting in at the perfect time, and together we were going to do something so big, so exciting, so bold that it was worth doing whatever they had to do to be a part of this. I had people changing schools. I had people, deciding not to go to summer school. I had people, deciding not to go home from school. I mean, I was recruiting people to be a part of something big. And just that message was so powerful. And there was nothing big yet happening. What was big was me. I was it. I was the whole team basically. And that's okay. Because when you have a bold vision and you've got something that you're excited about and you share that with people, guess what happens? People show up. People show up ready to do something big. They don't just show up going, I'm going to see what this is all about. No, they show up on fire. And so your message right now is so important. And I want to share this with you because Kathy said, what are some of the things that are working? Well, what I'm sharing with you right now is working. When you've got an exciting vision like this, you're going to get better efficiencies. And what isn't working is playing a video, explaining the job opportunity, and thinking that just because you're paying a $20 pay rate or a $25 pay rate, that's enough to get people excited. If it's not working for McDonald's down the street or Dairy Queen across the street, it's not going to work for you either. As a matter of fact, if you're being compared to that, you're going to probably lose kids because they're going to show up to trade and go, oh, wow, well, this job's a little harder, a little scarier, but I can make just the same money going 5 blocks down the street and not having to drive anywhere and do a mindless job. The key is not, it's not just the money. Why do people need this job? Well, because a mindless job isn't going to help them in life. A mindless job is not going to advance them. A mindless job isn't going to give them an edge against their peers. It's not going to set them up for the future. This is what they need. Like, this is the life-changing experience that's going to change their lives forever. Like, this is going to give them an edge over the competition. This is going to get them into the school they want to get into. This is going to make them a better student, a better worker, a better, son, daughter, boyfriend, girlfriend, all the above. They're not learning the personal intercommunication skills that they need. And during COVID, people lost those skills. During COVID, there's became a labor shortage. The employers are dying to get people who are driven, who are self-motivated, who have skills for life, who know how to build teams, be independent, have a larger capacity to handle more because why? Well, a lot of these companies are short-staffed, and so people are having to cover more. So they want people who have those kind of skills. Well, where are you going to get it? And where are you going to get it? You don't get it in college. You're going to get it here. And that's why it's worth taking the job that's more challenging, that's going to grow you, that's going to change you, that's going to make you better, that's going to have you be in at the right time at the ground level to build something that's special, to break the all-time record here, to put that on your resume, to take that in with confidence to any employer out there. And they're going to not just want you, they're going to pay you more to get you. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you've got to be talking about in your interviews, in your PCs, in your trainings, and people will show up, people will not flake out, and people will say, all right, this is where I need to be. So that is working. I want to make sure that that's happening. The other thing that's also working, this is exciting. Gerardo, new district manager, $30,000 plus new business week this week. That's exciting, right? 10K fast starters, man, they're happening all over the region. 10K fast starters are awesome. It's amazing. You get one of those in, you just get one of those in. Everybody wants to join on. It's one of those things where it's like, hey, if you light yourself on fire, people will come and watch you burn, right? Well, you get that 10K fast starter out there who makes a ton of money and has this incredible experience, gets all this recognition and love. And he's having a blast doing it. All her friends are going to want to join on, right? So the key is getting that fast starter, really investing into those couple of people in every training class to get them to succeed. Even if you have to sell half their Cutco for them on the phone, whatever it takes, get that leader out there and you will build so rapidly around them. So that's important. What else is working? Fire number. Fire number basically just means, what is the manager themselves personally calling and driving people into their interviews? That is working. As a matter of fact, you see the trend where most offices are popping the biggest and the fastest from nowhere. It's the people who are picking up the phone themselves as a manager, making a real connection. It's like, hey, listen, I'm the owner of the business. I'm excited. I would love to meet you. I've got some big things that we're working on. I've worked with some great people from your school. Do you know so-and-so? Do you know so-and-so? You're making a real connection. You're bringing the validation and the credibility that these people need to hear because they haven't seen it yet, right? You don't have maybe a big team yet. Maybe you're even calling like a social media person that doesn't have any connectivity to the job. Well, they need that connectivity to you. They need that connectivity to your vision. They need that connectivity to what it means for them, what they're going to get out of it. See, if just the job by itself that they haven't ever seen, used, heard, know anybody that's done it, that's not enough. You've got to bring more to those people, but those people can be rock stars and they're worth the extra effort. Buy them a coffee, do a one-on-one, make it special. So I'm telling you, the more people you personally bring in and you make that connection with, the faster you're going to get those 10K fast starters, the faster you're going to take off. You can get huge numbers from small numbers from this, and it ensures your success. So that is working. The other is PRs. One of the things that I'm seeing is that we're getting a lot more PRs, but we're not necessarily always getting them all in training. Now, yes, we have some people who are. They're getting 130, 150. We averaged as a region almost 100, on average, across the region last week. I looked that up just yesterday. But you could get more. And I think the key is to not be lazy and just go, oh, well, I got 40 or 50 a person in the initial training. No, you've got to continue to reach out, right? Get some more through the PDI, get some more in the first PC, take the time in advanced training to get more. You've got 3, 4, 5 opportunities to grab more and to gain more. So if you didn't get them all the first time, it doesn't mean that you can't still get them. You have to continue to pursue after that and get them, and which is fine because it just means you got fresh names to call every day or two, so you can continue to build your class. The other thing too is these mailers. We are seeing some sharp kids from the mailers, and making sure that you're really maximizing your mailer efficiency by having enough interviews later in the week. We're seeing most of these mailer calls are hitting on a Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, and so having interviews late on Wednesday, Thursday pump-ins, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even. I mean, whatever it takes to get those people efficiently into interviews, same day or next day. And maximize them. That is a big deal. The other thing that I think is also important is this, and that's we're seeing great results from our live training, but we're showing but we are seeing some people struggle with their virtual training. And I know you've got some people who are virtual and live at the same time. How do you get the best of that? Well, couple of things. One is, you probably remember this tip from Stacy Campbell where, he's talking to the virtual group, but he doesn't have the virtual group like really like visible for everybody else that's in live training. And so he's really pouring out, enthusiasm in the live training that they're picking up over the Zoom. But also the Zoom is going to have an AM, or you're going to break out with those guys. They still have to have the same kind of attention that you're giving to the live group. So what would that look like? Let me give you a couple things that might be missing with your virtual people. One example would be, let's say you're doing a cutting clinic with your live group, right? What are you doing with the virtual group to have them get exposure and experience there? That might be a place where somebody is doing cutting clinic for the virtual group. It might be one of those places where you say, hey, does anybody virtually, do your parents own any Cutco? If you do, go grab your Cutco, right? It could be one of those things where, you're teaching them, hey guys, we've got a trimmer program, well, we can send that out to you. Or listen, if you could stop by and pick up samples, let me show you a couple things you could do. You know what? When your parents buy Cutco this weekend, let's put it on a rush delivery so we can get it to you right away, and you can steal their Cutco and you can use it on the demo. Let me show you how you use it, right? So you're building expectation their parents are going to buy. You're building up that they're going to have some of these knives and they can use it even on the virtual demos, that they're showing the knives, they're putting it up on the screen, they're showing cutting, they're not just using the videos. So you're teaching them how to transfer their enthusiasm through the virtual platform, not just rely on videos and information. It's really important that they see true enthusiasm, they see virtual actual product, they're holding it, little things like, even on virtual, if in a live demo you tell the customer to go get their old knives, you should tell them to go get their old knives on a virtual, right? They go get the old knives, they bring them out, you say, show it to me. Okay, so what you've got there, Mrs. Jones, looks like a plastic handle, or that's a partial tang. Okay, what you've got there is a straight edge. Let me explain to you how the straight edge works on knives. Let me show you how a serrated edge cuts. So you're able to kind of point things out. You can also teach your virtual reps to have examples of those knives so that they've got several different examples of old knives that they go, okay, so you've got a knife kind of like this. Let me show you what happens with this. And then they can turn to their cutting board and they can show, what happens to the blade when they cut on there. So these are the kind of things that they could do like they would do if they were live and make that extra kind of connection. I also think the guarantee is really important on a virtual demo. It's risk-free. You get your money back. You can try the product out, use it for a couple of weeks. If you don't like it, send it back. We give you all your money back. No risk. You're not even going to have to pay the credit card bill. We'll have you refunded back. I mean, it's just not a big deal, but it's worth you trying it out. We're so confident in our product that we're willing to do that, and you should do it. You're going to love it. It's good. The only thing you're going to regret in buying Cutco is that you didn't buy it sooner. I mean, you've got to teach them how to have that kind of confidence that you need to buy this. And so anyway, other little things here like role playing with the people on Zoom, putting them in breakouts, having people manage that, having they're onboarding. So if I'm moving around, that's why. The day one and day two PCs, these are so key for the virtuals. They will not sell without this. You've got to go through their demos with them. You've got to make sure that they've got belief that they're going to sell. Like all those kind of things you would do in a live presentation, building up their expectations. They're going to get their first promotion, get their first set, get their first sale. All these things have to continue to happen, right? Making sure they call in for help on the virtual. They need more help than the live people do. So just making sure that is in the culture and that people are doing that, Also, for your virtual kids, having them go sit down live with their parents, live with their neighbors and friends and people they're close to. Even without the knives, it's more effective to do that demo sitting at the table with them, looking them in the eye and asking them for the order, asking them for referrals. They don't need the samples to sell, but sitting live with them and going through and again, sharing that enthusiasm makes a huge difference, right? Last but not least, and I'll put this on here, and that is Are you sharing 10K fast start examples of people who sold virtually? Are you just giving 10K examples of people who sold live? You need to get both, right? So again, just the way to translate success here in the 4-day week, with both virtual and with live is to give lots of examples of success over this 4-day weekend. Last tip here for both virtual and live is that, you've got a 4-day weekend. You've got to raise the number of demos for your assignment, in training, because if you just go and say get 10 demos for your first weekend, well, the first weekend is, an extra day, which is honestly, that's almost like, that's like a 40% increase in time in the first weekend. So you should increase the demo assignment. You're probably talking about booking 15 or 20 demos, and I would say like over their first 5 days. So go beyond the first weekend. So I think that's an important adjustment, which means you probably need to add a little extra time for your phone jam, and maybe even a little extra time on their names list so they have enough names to get those appointments booked. Now, for the rest of the team, I would suggest a 3-day phone jam strategy to book up their Memorial Day weekend. And the idea is, can they get some demos done before the weekend starts to make up for the time that they need to have fun? Because I think that's part of it. They can have fun and make a lot of money. So I would start a phone jam series that probably starts today, and I would have, obviously like a, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or maybe it's all 4 days of phone jams. They've got to choose 3, but they need 3 good phone sessions to set up this weekend. They won't be able to get it done in 1, and probably not even in 2. So that's a big key for getting a huge pop in the 4-day weekend. So keep that in mind. Same thing goes for your launch, right? Adding in daily phone time after the launch so they can continue to perpetuate and get those demos booked. Also mentally prepare them that they're going to have some cancellations over the weekend. It's a holiday weekend. People forget, things happen, but that's a good thing, because every reschedule is always a guaranteed sale. So it's just delayed, but it's for sure a guaranteed sale. So relish in any of those that get rescheduled. Don't get frustrated by that. So those are my tips. I know it was quick. Kathy can recap, but I got aboard. But I love you guys, and let's go kick some butt. It's going to be a good week, and excited about the big things that are happening there in GCK.
Awesome. Thank you, Lloyd. Safe travels. Appreciate you jumping on.
Thank you. You got it. Take care, guys.
Awesome. So just listening to Lloyd, I'd love to hear feedback from you guys. Please unmute yourself. What did you already have in place? You're like, sweet, I had this, or like, ooh, nice storm outside. So what things did you have in place? And you could give both, or what things did he bring up that you're like, ooh, I need to do this, or I haven't set this up yet. So I'd love to hear real quick, like in terms of just reminders or triggers or, nuggets from just listening to him, what came up for you, and then I'll share mine.
I think our 10K fast starter promotion in training is a little lacking, as well as maybe even some fast start promo. That's one thing I wrote down. I was like, maybe I should. We'll see, but that's an adjustment I want to make. And then also I had his 3-day phone jam plan, right? For which I think honestly we could probably use that just throughout the summer. Like, hey, what's your 3-day phone jam plan? Like, it rhymes and it sounds good, so that means it'll work. Because of the alliteration. So, well, there's not really alliteration, but you know what I mean. All right, and then I think that's all I had. Oh, and then just this is where they need to be, like promoting. Like, we have to build a thing when we're by ourselves. Like, we have to be the cheerleaders saying that there's this great thing being built, and I'm so happy you're here. And it's the first, like, it's so cool that you're getting to be here right now and you're going to be able to say, hey, I remember when our team meeting had 3 people in it, when there's 60 people in it. And that's so cool right now, and we're building something big, like that kind of message.
Hell yeah. That's exciting. Yeah. And really great stuff. I was thinking about that too, Cody. That came up for me of like, are we really, and like I've been in and out and I'm going to be rocking training this week. I'm super excited, but like, are we actually like, how many plugs are we having about 10K fast start, you know? And I plug it, but like, I know that we have not talked about it at the level that we could or should, you know, and like even my plans, like I haven't done this in the last week. So I've been using old script or the new like Damien slides, and like I wasn't in my zone, but just like asking like, hey, who here would be excited? This was a phrase I always used to say, which I just put like not forget to say that. But I'm like, who here would be excited to earn $2,000 to $5,000 their first week on the job? Be like, yeah, everyone always says they are, but it's a beast, you know, like everyone on this wall earned the right. Like they were up every single day for a week, for 10 days, you know, Monday through Friday, they were up by like 7 a.m., you know, getting ready, working out, studying, getting ready to dominate the day. And for 10 days, they worked their tushies off, you know, from early morning to late night. And they deserve the 2, 3, you know, $5,000 paycheck, or Sean Tricky $10,000 check, you know, they got. So just like planning that, be like, and guys, here's the deal. It's not for everybody, you know, but if anyone's down to like crush it this week, you're like, hey, I've got a week that I can go on a money making vacation, and you're down to grind for a week, just let us know. Cool. So we can make a plan with you, because we know that's not the average person, but we are excited to help you all get to a fast start, you know? And if you are one of those people who's like, hey, I'm down to bust my butt, like, just let me know. So we can make a good plan together, because I'd love to show you how to get that done. Right. And so just like plans like that, where it's like that push away or pull, but like those top people, like they do say like, hey, by the way, I want to talk to you about that, going for that 10K, you know, like, what do I need to do? And setting the stage. And even during training, when you talk about setting appointments and schedule, hey, for those of you who have thought about going after that 10K, like you want to be completing a minimum of 40 appointments in your first 10 days, but the goal is between 50 and 60, right? If you have 50 to 60 appointments in your first 10 days, you know, with target customers, it's a pretty, you know, slam dunk to go after that 2 to 5K week. And I'll tell you what, I've never seen somebody who's done that and not earned at least a comma paycheck. Like, never seen that happen, you know? And so just talk to us about that. So that's great. Other things that came up for you guys, whether you're new or you've been experienced, like what came up in terms of, oh, I need to do that, like actionable things.
For our virtual training, I noticed one thing we are doing is we did a lot of role playing. But he mentioned this, and it's such a small thing, but it's so important. Just giving examples of 10K fast starters who were virtual. I don't think we did that at all. And I could really see that making a difference.
Cool. And if you guys all want to promote, Nadia, by the way, sold 9K in her fast start, all virtual, but she sold $50,000 her first summer and had never seen a customer or cut a penny, you know? So you guys can utilize that, because that's a true, and someone that they'll get a chance to meet. So virtual scholarship winner that we have.
Garrett had a $12,000 virtual fast start.
Nice. Garrett, all your demos were all over the phone as well?
I think they still have been. I don't know if he's done a live demo.
Yeah, no, they've been all virtual.
Cool. So Garrett, Matthew Sellers sold just shy of $13,000 all over the phone. He was actually, and I share this, I'm like, he was very socially, like, had social anxiety when he started and wasn't good with people. And he was scared to even look at them in the face. So he didn't even use FaceTime or Zoom. He just did it over the phone, you know, and he sold almost $13,000 just literally reading from his manual. So those are examples you guys can use. What else? What else came up for you guys? Sergio. Oh,
Oh, well, I was gonna say, I love what Cody said when he's like, Matt, I can't wait to say, you know, like we were the first three, you know, it was just three of us in team meeting and now it's exploded. But even though you don't have the bigger picture now, to start painting it and paint it with that small group, because they're going to be more tied in and connected, and just zooming it from there. And then also Lloyd shared, you know, about, you know, calling them up personally, like just calling people and just getting on the phones.
awesome. Sergio. Oh, we can't hear you, Sergio. But while you're unmuting, what Claudia just mentioned there at the end, I will tell you guys right now, 2019, and we saw just a huge surge from Eastern region. Like, they almost took the silver cup from us that year, by the way. And what was happening, and I remember every single manager, I remember Larry Manley, I was talking
Did everybody else just lose her too?
Okay, I was gonna say, is it just me? I didn't.
It's the neighborhood. Our Wi-Fi just went out.
Oh, that storm hit hard. I'm glad I came up to the office.
I'm like, oh, what storm looks outside? I was out walking at 6 a.m. There's no storm brewing.
What were you doing on the streets at 6 a.m.?
Yo, you gotta get active. No
Yo,
excuse.
the junk
Don't
people.
gotta do that at 6 a.m. though.
Here in the Heights, I think you can. It's pretty safe. I
All
wouldn't say at 9 p.m.
No.
What?
Okay.
Man, I'm a baby.
Um,
Don't do that.
Hey, sorry, I'm back.
I'll go for a walk.
So,
Oh, look, Kathy, was she walking? Oh,
huh?
nothing.
So anyway, what she was just saying with setting, I was saying that Larry, like all his branches and DMs, like by Monday morning, they had to check in with how many people they had booked. And by Monday night, they had to be at minimum 20 personally, like as a branch or district manager, like they had booked up PRs or booked up people. And like that was an accountability they decided in North Carolina that year to have with each other, and it spread throughout the Eastern region. But it was this big focus on like, are you as a manager like handling your top people? And I'll tell you guys that was Chankstas and I secret sauce in 2016 when we did 800,000 in new in West Houston. Like every Sunday, her and I each scheduled at least 20 people, her and I, separately. So I'd book 20 to 30, she'd book 20 plus. Every Sunday, we would compete with Lorena and the other people with the Blitz, right? And by the way, this is me as a division manager, guys. So I'm like, oh, I'm busy. I'm doing it. Like we're doing a lot of stuff. We had PDI coming in. We were launching a lot of people. You know, we had PSP on Sunday. People coming in and out of the office. But what we did is we would text 150 people at the start of the shift, right? Which we would actually do manually or have someone help us with. Now, guys, they changed the system in Vector Live where you can use, right, your office conveyor to send out 150 texts really quick. And then as responses came in, we'd just be calling them and booking them. All right. What we know, though, is that if you, and this is like, if you can, right? Like if you can't, like guys, use the freaking app, you know, like use the office conveyor. It's fantastic. All right. Can you be more efficient doing it yourself? Yes. If you're going to do it. Why do I say that? People will hold, they're like, oh, I'm going to text these 150 top names. Cause that was our focus. I don't know if anyone remembers from back then. It was like every manager messages 150 people. Right. And I did that cause that's what I did as a DBM. So I was like, I know that anyone can do that. So we had this focus on 150 people. But if you say, I'm going to text 150 people and you keep your top 150 and you don't text them, that's dumb. And you just lost out on multiplying your top people. So it's a commitment to say, I'm going to text, 50 of them Friday, 50 of them Saturday, 50 of them Monday or Sunday, and do my 150 messages that I'm going to shoot out saying, hey, Johnny, this is Garrett, or hey, Johnny, I work with your friend Daniel Reyes. We had some openings available for summer. I'd asked him if he knew anyone that might be looking for work, and he recommended you. There's a pretty nasty storm happening right here, right now. But anyway, when we did that, excuse me, I just lost my train of thought thinking I'm like going to die because it's not going to come through the roof. I don't know what's happening here. But anyway, shooting him that text message that's more personal, but it doesn't have the press stop to opt out, right? Like when you do it from the office conveyor, it does show that it's like coming from a system, right? Where if it's from your phone, it shows personal. By the way, it still works. You still have people reply. You still have people that want jobs that are going to reply on the office conveyor. But if you want to be super efficient with your names, personally text your top 150 names. That's an advanced nugget. You will get more efficiency. And off 150 text messages, again, 50 Friday, 50 Saturday morning, 50 Sunday, when you wake up, send those 150 messages. You will book at least 20, if not 30. That's the average, when you're personally texting them yourself and it's your top people, like you'll end up in that bracket of 20 to 30 people booked up. Cool. So just something I wanted to point out there. Sergio, go ahead.
Right. Yeah. Lloyd said something about like whenever you said, it was similar to what Claudia said, something about like whenever you're the only person there and you really want to get them fired up when they're coming in, right? I've tried a little bit during my interviews, giving like some sort of I guess like it's like a stump speech, right? Just being like, I'm really trying to bring this to the office, but I feel like I could definitely bring like a lot more intensity to that, because I want them to be like knowing that there's a lot of culture that I want to bring and a lot of people here that are like really super wanting to teach everybody, right? But I feel like I can do a lot more with that, right?
Awesome.
Just like bringing a lot more intensity, bringing a lot more fire to them whenever they're actually here. So they're a lot more fired up, right?
Absolutely. John or Claudia, raising your hand.
I had a question. Grace posted in this, sorry, John, but not sorry. In the Southwest group meeting, Grace posted
June's off.
PR text that's
June's
being
off.
that's being sent. Like you just said, message those 150. Like, what's the message that you send out to those 150?
I'll text it to you guys, but it always changes. It's very personal, but it's very simple. It's just like, hey, Claudia, your friend Zavi just started working with me. I had some openings I was looking at, and I'm super excited to work with her. And so the ones I like, I'm like, your friend Zavi just started working with me. I'm super excited to work with her. I had some positions I'm looking to fill, and she thought you might be a great fit. Let me know when you have a couple minutes to chat. And like, that was it. It was very simple. It was very direct, and you get a lot of replies. Mr. John.
Just the power of training confirmation calls, guys. Like, you know, on your 15th, like, it's tough. It really is. But like, they're so impactful. They are, and they get fired up, especially now that we're doing in person. Like, we definitely saw a jump. Like, these kids came in early. They were ready. They showed up in person for advanced training. Like, and I think Catherine saw this as well. It's like, guys, there's no more virtual job. Like, it's like, you give me 2 days, or if you're running orientation, but give me 3 days to train you, then you can work from your area. And like, they want to come to the office. The right people come to the office. So I think that just like that mind shift change, like, so Sergio or Patricio, I think that was you who was saying it. Like, sorry, Patricio, I think it was Sergio, said like, you're trying to make the culture yourself. Like, that starts with you and your mind shift, but like, it's like, you're there. Like, you're there. Just keep doing. Don't forget, like, don't worry about, okay, like, one person didn't get it. Okay, well, that person wasn't supposed to be there anyway. Go, like, the right people will get it. Keep showing up for the right people. Keep doing the same things. And I think like that mind shift of like, this is a job. And when they see you in person, bud, they're going to feel that. It's hard to feel that virtually. All right. But when they see you, bud, like, I mean, heck, I want to give you a hug, and you have an Android. Like, I don't want to touch any people with Androids, my man. So anyway, and I hug Grace too. So moving forward, like, just like, you're right there. But I think guys making that shift of getting to the office goes a long way with them, and they're excited. They're so fired up. Like, they really are. And they get to like meet their coworkers, guys. I mean, remember when all of us got to meet each other for the first time? It's like, Sergio, you're like, you know, you're tall. All right. That's weird. But anyway, like, you know, Garrett, you have great hair. Like, that's cool too. You know, so anyway, like, it's just like, they'll feel that, bud. And that all starts with the in-person. So that, what I'm trying to say is like, in-person solves a lot of that. Cool. But I don't know, Claudia, we got time.
Any other things that came up for you in terms of reminders? And John, anything that came up for you as Lloyd was speaking?
Well, hold on, what do I write down? Clearing out their first weekend, like handling every objection. Like, you can like, they're gonna say, oh, well, you know, like, we have a graduation party. So it's like, hey, like, I need you. And I'm like, by the end, and I set a reminder on my phone at 8 o'clock on Tuesday to reach back out to all those I haven't heard from. Like, I need you to ask mom and dad, like, what do you have going on this weekend? Cool. Like, do they make your schedule? Okay, cool. Like, kind of getting a feel of like where they're at with their parents, of like, just their parent, if their parents say they got to be somewhere, do they, or do their parents just like not really care? You know, I kind of gauge like their relationship right then and there. So clearing out their first weekend and then getting them fired up. Like, hey, like, who's on? Have you already thought about who your first sale is going to be to? Okay, cool. And then like kind of doing day one PC with like their best five. Like, dude, are you excited to cut a penny? Like, are you like, they were so, like, Catherine, they were so fired up to cut a penny for the first time in training. They're like, no way. Like, who are you excited to sell to? Who are you excited to show the penny cutting to? And then I think just like painting that, like, kind of day one PC really, really helped get them excited to come and use the product in the office. So like a little bit of list, a little bit of excitement to like who their first sale is going to be.
I love it. Anna, go ahead and join room 1, honey. All right. So I love it. Any other things that came up for you as Lloyd was speaking?
Well, I didn't get to hear everything, but something that really stood out, or a reminder again of just like, sometimes you're going to speak your stump speech and people aren't going to get it. And then, but you have to keep it going, because when you authentically show up and do that, that's where people buy into it. When they can see it's not one time you say, it's every single time that you have paint that vision, you build, and locking arms with people. Like, I'll tell you right now, this training class, because I was so intentional about communicating with them and building relationships with them, I didn't lose anybody, right? In our last couple of weeks, we've lost half the training class by advanced training. And so when you can talk about the vision and where you see them playing a role in it, and everyone's different, but they want to be a part of something bigger. And so when you constantly talk about where your team's going, not where you're at right now, but where you're going, they can attach to that because everybody wants to be part of something bigger than themselves. And so everyone's going to find a role when you talk about different things you're feeling, different things you're doing, different things you're building, and it's making that community of opportunity, right? Because not everyone wants to sell forever, but they need to keep that skill set, right? A couple of hours a week, but they can also help in the office doing something. They can help. Like Kathy was telling me the other day, I did this terribly. She was like, "Why are you stealing one of my assistant managers to type notes into your chat box when you could be doing it?" Or one of the kids already told me he wants to be an assistant manager, wants to teach. Like, tell him to type what you need and he'll type for it. And you're already empowering them to be an assistant manager. And afterwards, like, man, that was great. You did a great job. I can definitely see you being moving into a position like that. And then just like really painting vision and already connecting to where you want them to go before they even see that picture.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Any other things? And then I want to share mine. We can dive through. So one of the things Lloyd mentioned, which I actually did a impromptu training last week, which I know Rossi said was super impactful for him and Grace, which I want to recommend you guys. I would watch this with your staff, or I would have all your staff watch this today or tomorrow, guys. Is the day 1 and day 2 PC walkthroughs. Cool. And so what I did, and first off, if you guys haven't utilized this, like all my new AMs, like, one of them already watched all 10. There's 10 videos I put for a new manager that I need them to watch and take notes on. And so we've got first 10-day management, so they understand the flow of stuff, skills check process, which is 22 minutes, how to skills check people properly. This is a video I just recorded that I want you guys to all have. And so I'm going to share this. But this is, let me grab this. So I just did this late at night with my guys to walk through how to, we don't need this. Why is this playing? So let me put this in the chat box. But this is the video that any of your staff should watch and be ready to go. Okay. And what I did, so wait, let me go through these. Sorry. So we've got skills check, day 1 and day 2 PC, art of promotion by Brian Hurlman, closing sales 101. Which is my guys need to watch that and the PC by Thursday so that they're ready to rock for this weekend. Types of PDI calls lets them understand a bigger vision on PDI. First weekend pop and PDI training, what sets that up. Creating schedules and structure, that's post fast start. So they don't have to watch that at the beginning. You could have them watch it later. Proper QPR use and management. This is huge. And if you, really want to set your office, if you're struggled with that before, or if not, I would just put this on like your next staff meeting. As you guys are recruiting more and more people, like learning how to manage a QPR properly is important for your staff, or you're going to get crushed on base pay. And then PR maximization. Whenever you think they're ready or you're going to need support, they can watch that, but that being one of the last ones. But in the PC video, what I did is I used my outline. And Molly, if you can please upload, I know you're like dying in bed, but if you can please upload my outline for the PC. And then so on PC on Friday, or like the first day of training, right? So not orientation for those who are running that, but like day 1, all right, for all of us. At the end of the day, when they're making phone calls and they're doing their PCs, I go through my PC there. And then on Saturday morning or Friday morning, whenever it's day 2 in the morning, when they're coming in, I have everyone using Mr. Stacy Campbell's PC in the morning when they come in. Cool. And so this is something that, and by the way, I decided to teach this just so you guys know DMs and stuff, just what I noticed happening with a lot of my AMs. We would do the PCs on Friday, right? Like during the school year. So on day 1, people would go home. And then what would happen is once people went home, they did whatever, and even though you told them to do it this way or whatever, like they still book up whoever. And then on Saturday morning, when I would ask my staff, hey, we need to meet with everyone and check their schedule, you know what I was getting from people, or the feel, it was like, oh, I already did that, I already met with them yesterday, right, or whatever. And so they didn't understand that even though you met with them yesterday, they still go book a bunch of the wrong people, and we need to like rearrange their schedule again and make sure they're set up for success the morning of, day 2. So I like using the different script because it's like they haven't done that one yet, right? So it's a psychological thing of like, hey, this is what we do on the first night as they're booking their first appointments, and then after they've, that night, the next morning, here's what we use. Cool. Another great tool and resource if you want to be incredible at those day 1 PCs and really helping people set up a proper weekend is old school Scott Dennis PDI video, which I could use a tech person to help me upload that onto YouTube. But we have it in our drive. If you look up Scott Dennis, it should pop up somewhere in the drive. Is a old school video, which I have the VHS still, of how I learned how to do those PCs, you know, and setting up a big first weekend. And so that was something that I was thinking about. I'm like, ooh, we should watch that at our staff meeting this week, because it's just like, it's old, but there's so many golden nuggets. There's so many good things that he does, with like the ones that try to book up a gazillion and how to like tame them back, you know, and the ones that should be doing more, but they're not doing as much, and like how to keep them going and making calls through the night. Scott was such a champion at that, of like, you know, people would just keep phoning for hours, even after training, right? And like how he checked in with them and really set them up. So there's a lot of really good stuff there. So I wanted to throw that out there, and I wanted to give you guys the day two PC video from last week that I recorded, just kind of walking through those. So I think that's really helpful for your staffs. So you can do it yourself, or, you know, watch that with them. But I highly recommend that, because I do believe that that'll play a big impact. So we've got some exciting training numbers, you know, and just looking at the logs. And I know that they're just going to keep picking up. And here's what I'm going to say. Right now is a time that people are looking for work. Okay. And here's what we know. You're not the only job they're applying to right now. Okay. And so I want to throw that out there. And this is important, because it goes back to that vision that you're creating, and the like, why this is the job for them. Right. I was talking to Lloyd yesterday, and he was sharing, like, in their coffee shop, they're paying, I don't know, I'm going to make up a number, but it's somewhere in the teens. So it's like $14 or $16 an hour, right? For like people that are like, he owns a coffee shop, and he said that right next door, there's I don't know if it's Dairy Queen or whatever, like there's someone that's paying like $25 an hour, you know, and like people still rather work with them. And they have people applying with them because it's the place to be, and how people are treated, and like their focus is, and like people are so happy there. Right. And the other place just kind of sucks to work there, you know, and like sucks the life out of you. And so he's like, it's not always necessarily the money, which I know that too. It's like, how are they growing? Right. What are they learning? How is this benefiting them? Right. Do they understand how much this job is going to grow them? And do they understand this is the place to be? And so in your interviews, is that coming through? Right. When you talk about the team and what people can gain here, and like what I love about this job and what it's done for me, like, do they feel your true passion? Because that is very attractive to people when they hear you sharing, like, you know, I got this and I've loved this, and like, you know, we offer da 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 da. And I love seeing our representatives being able to grow and develop and getting like, you know, these job offers, and, you know, just, are you sharing those things, you know, with your customers, with your reps, excuse me, because it's just like you do with your customers when you share your goals and you enroll them into your goals. And we know that being powerful at sharing goals is one of the most important things that impacts every part of your demo. Guys, it's the same thing as managers, right? Like when we share our goals and our excitement and our vision about our team and how this, like, we love seeing people grow and just what this has done for you and da 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 in your interview, like they can feel that. And if you go watch, what's her name, Cody, like the top girl from the Northeast, Paige Weber from the last couple of years. If you watch her at her SLC talks, if you go on Vector Connect and watch her SLC talks the last years, if you watch her in 2020, when she gave her talk in 2020, what you're going to notice, it's the passion and the belief in the job. Like if you ask me, people are like, oh, she says this, let me get her script. And I'm like, dude, just watch her, listen to her. Are you not captivated? Right? Like, it's like, I want to work there. Right. And it's just, it's real, it's raw, it's authentic. And if you have a chance, that's a video I would watch. You know, you guys want to be great. Like I would be watching a video at least 3 times a week. That's 30 minutes to an hour, and just like improving your skill sets. Right. But her message, I think, was like 30 minutes. And it is so impactful to just see how to share. So if you're like, I'm not really sure how to share goals or how to do it better, or like Sergio, how you were sharing, like this is the place to, and really sharing that vision, like go watch Paige, her SLC talk from 2020. Cool. Because you'll get a feel for that. And it's got to be true to you, right? But like, do your people feel that you truly believe this is the place to be? Cool. because they can feel that. So this week, I'm going to show you guys exactly what we're looking at. I don't know if some of you guys, if you're like, oh, I have higher, if you didn't close interviews, close them. But currently, here's what we're looking at. And so we've got, I don't know why these aren't in order from high to low, but anyway, Sugarland with 11 people scheduled for training, Beaumont with 17. We've got Conroe with 19. Nice job, sir. Memorial with 8, Houston with 4, Lake Jackson with 5, Corpus Christi with 4, Katie Seeley, Catherine, nice freaking job with 21 scheduled for training as a branch manager. Awesome to see that. And branches, that's where you want to be at 20 plus. And then can you have a couple weeks where you're at 30 or 40? Those will happen in the next couple weeks, by the way. Our biggest set for training numbers come right now in these next 5 weeks. Cal Allen, Adeoye with 6, getting going. Katie West Houston with 26. Nice job. Nacogdoches with 8 so far. And by the way, today you guys all have a chance to get into double digits. Cool. And so that should be like your standard of like, I'll never be under double digits, even if I have to go I call people myself, I call no shows, I book them for interviews, whatever we have to do to make it happen. Spring, Sergio, nice job, 19 people. So about to pass that 20 mark today. College Station at 23. Nice to see you guys back up there. Miss Kingwood, 24. Nice, Zavi. In the northeast side of town. Deer Park, Pasadena, Nadia with 10. Good job being in the double digits. And then Clear Lake is currently at 86, fighting to get to 100 today. Great to see that. And here's what I'll tell you guys. It's an intensity. It's a focus. Like, are you driving things in your office? Are you like, oh, people applied, like there's collecting whatever comes in and there's creating, and creating takes effort and takes a decision from you every day. Are you sending 50 messages a day? Are you doing that? 25 in the morning, 25 in the afternoon? Are you adding people every day? I know we talked about this a month ago, but are you still doing it? Right? Like, that is something that's in our people's schedule of like, you've got to do this every day, because that helps bring in new people, right? That helps bring in new recruits. One of our girls who's at 3,400 for the week this week. Okay. She is someone that came from a social media message, right? And so like, you never know. And so are you putting in that work? Are you going to your graduations? We talked about last week. They're happening this week. Where can you get to? Whether it's flyers, pencils, or if you print out the congratulations letters and get those passed out. There's still time. You can still make moves, and you get one of those good kids that you're excited about sooner. They're more like, here's the reality. They're more apt to respond to a congratulations letter that they got at a graduation than a piece of mail that came in the mail that they don't know where it came from. Some people might not even open the piece of mail because they think it's spam when they're splitting stuff, and they might just toss it without ever even opening it, by the way. We know that happens. Where if they got that letter to graduation, they'll at least look at it. So I know there's a higher chance of them seeing it from me handing it to them than from the letter that I sent, but I'm still have the 1-2 punch combo. I know they're getting letters in the mail, but I'm still going out there. And I want to get as many letters in hand as possible so that I know eyes are getting on it. Okay. So what are you doing? What are you doing tonight? What are you setting up, tomorrow during the day, today during the day, to make sure that that's happening? And we're going to create a little space. We're going to take a break in a couple of minutes. You can grab a snack and we'll keep diving into stuff. But what's happening there? I want you guys to think about, because when we come back from break, I want you guys to share, especially, Cody, I know Jacob will be back, and like those who have been here for a Pop Week. What are some of the things that we can do to really make Pop Week big, right? It is Pop Week right now. This is Pop Week. So today until next Tuesday, it is an 8-day week. And if you look at trends and trends and trends for decades in our company's history, this is the week that we see a huge pop. And those who, by the way, but it doesn't just happen. Those who have focus and intentionality and set up the environment, they experience double, triple, quadruple sales reports than they had the week before. We always see this happen. Okay. The launches should be double, triple, or more. What intensity do you have creating today, creating more for today, creating more for tomorrow, to absolutely crush this week's training? So be thinking about that. And I'm glad you said, Cody, 3-day phone jam plan, because that sounded way better. I wrote down 3-day phone jam strategy is just like what my brain wrote down as I was writing notes. So I'm like 3-day phone jam plan. So what does that look like? What are you doing? And I want you guys to be able to share like any ideas you have in terms of pop. And there's some really simple, silly things that are fun. And it's very creating the environment of stuff that we want to get done today and tomorrow, and just a quick run to the store to create. And so I want to hear about that. And then we'll come back. We're going to dive through stuff for this week for Pop Week. We're going to go through the agenda for next Wednesday night for our divisional team meeting. And I'd love to know anyone who wants to run a workshop, because we want to do breakout rooms and do like a room that's doing stuff on recommend. Well, we'll talk about it if we want to break out fully or if we want to keep them all together. But just so that we can do kind of like roundtable style, in different rooms and like work on different topics, and they could hop around or they could stay in one. So I was thinking that would be a good thing, but just ideas for that. So we're going to come back over and we'll talk about that. And then we'll go through a calendar and some things to just make sure that are on our radar and that we're promoting. Okay. So let's go ahead and take 5, go grab a snack, go grab whatever, use the toilet, and then be back ready to go with any ideas and stuff for Pop Week. All right.
Oh, it's pop cardboard and markers. And it was just a fully popped out thing. If you want to do that, why not? It's fun, right? I think it's a little ADHD diversion, but it can be fun and people get excited when there's new posters on the wall. But at the same time, here's an important thing to remind you. Like, if you're gonna do it, you gotta like do it. Like, don't waste the time, because like I always remember this one branch manager. I can't remember what her name was. Maybe she was a branch manager's sister. I don't know. She's not here anymore. But like, she just bought like one little box of Pop-Tarts and it was sitting on the desk. And like it's just one box of Pop-Tarts. Like no one like God bless her for like trying, but like if you're gonna do something like the fully like pop themed whatever in your office, just spend the $50 at the dollar store and go all out. If not, don't worry about it. Make some new slides and promote it. Because the big thing is promotion. And this is one of the first experiences that a lot of you guys are gonna get as new managers in just promoting something, right? And we do this a lot throughout the summer, promoting push week, challenge week, but we just talk it up, and because we've talked it up, it becomes a thing. So the thing that I always encourage everyone to do for your Pop Week is to, again, know your goal and kind of know what direction you're moving in and where you want to hit, and tell your team that, hey, you're always telling people, yo, this is the most exciting time to start. Like you don't even know Pop Week right now. We're in it. We're doing it. It is the week where we get the most demos booked of any week in the year to date. It is our biggest sales week of the year to date, right? It's not gonna be our biggest one ever, but that's what we say to date, because it is. Up until this point, it's gonna be your biggest new business sales week. And so how does that happen? Well, you have to book the demos, but how do you tell them that it's happening? We say it's our biggest one to date because everyone's doing demos. We got this 8-day week. We have a whole extra day of demos. So on average, it takes our average demo number increases overall, and we can get this thing done. And I'm so excited to see the business and the paychecks pop off. And you just talk it up. That's what I've noticed. There may be some, and then that's for the promotion for them. And then for you, what are you doing? You have to do the work to make it actually pop. Right? So on your side, what are you as the manager doing? Well, you're making the extra PR calls, you have the extra coverage, you're doing everything you can to get everyone you can into this class. You're focusing on any fast starters that we just had launched this last weekend, right? Because taking one fast starter and getting them a good fast start, even though it's not a 10K, if they just get like a $6,000 or a $3,000 fast start, that's going to be some exciting business on the sales report to add to that momentum, right? And then it's a phone jam, having your first real phone jam this week at team meeting. That's a big thing, right? And you can use this as an excuse. Remember, Pop Week can be an excuse for you to say, hey guys, I know for the spring, our phone jams have been a little off, but going into the summer here, especially with Pop Week, we're doing this new thing for team meeting, and we're doing this new thing with our phone jam at team meeting. We're gonna be like, hey, from now on, like this team meeting, this Pop Week team meeting signifies like summer phone jam style at the office again, right? So we're going to have an increase phone jam presence, right? So we're going to say, hey, we got a phone this week. Part of that increased phoning presence, but part of that pop week presence is what is your 3 phone jam plan for pop week, right? What's the pop week 3 phone jam plan? Right? We gotta have 3, right? Pop week, phone, and be on the phone, pop week. I don't know, acronym, but are you making sure your reps are getting enough demos? And this is the thing that I'd be honest with you too. We've gone through these projections. You guys remember when we went through that spreadsheet with you guys after our prep meeting? So take a minute and say, okay, if my goal, John, if my goal, Claudia, if my goal, Zavi, is to increase my new business sales this week, Catherine, by 3x what I was last week. Well, if I was at 3K this last week, that means I want to be at 9K or 12K this coming week. That's exciting. Cool. So how many demos do you as the manager need to make sure you get booked for your team? Okay. And this is the thing where it all comes back to, like, we promote, but what's the objective of our promotion? Right? That's why I said earlier, we gotta know, okay, so if I'm just using the $100 demo, $100 per demo booked standard, right? And I want to get 13 grand in new business, I need 130 demos. Keep it easy, right? We can debate metrics and average orders and everything else. Let's just keep it easy for this. And if you book too many demos, I'm sorry, right? But if you have 100, so Catherine, if you need to get, for every demo your team gets booked, it's going to average 100 CPO. Okay. So then if you want to have a 13K new business week, you need 130 demos. Okay. So then we have to figure out, who are you going to have in training this weekend, Catherine? How many people are going to be there? Right. But here's the important thing too. By the time you get to training this week, your week is already half done. So we remember that our biggest amount of demos are going to come from your training class. So that's good. And so let's say, Catherine, you're launching what? What's your goal to launch? How many people do you have set right now? You have 22 people set, right? 23 people set for training?
21.
21. Okay. So let's say you get to what? It's Tuesday right now. Maybe you could get to 50, but let's say you at least get 40 set for training. I don't know what your interviews look like, but well, you guys start training tomorrow. So 30, 35 people for training you could get to. So let's say we're going to launch out of 30, 35 people, you should be able to launch 10. Right. So if we're launching 10 and your minimum you're going to launch with is 9 demos per head, we'd like it to be 10, but let's just say 9. Right. So so that's 90 demos right there, Catherine. So now you have 40 demos left you have to generate. Cool. So you have some fast stars, I've understood. You have some kids that are in their fast star right now, right? Okay, cool. So look at their schedules. If you don't have it already, get their schedules out to look at and see how many demos do each of your people have booked up from now through Tuesday, right? Now through Tuesday. And whatever that number is, maybe they have 3, maybe they have 5, right? But you have to be in the know because because after your 10-person training class, you have a 40 demo deficit you need to make up, right? And if you have a team meeting coming up tomorrow, that's where you're going to be able to make at least half of that happen in your team meeting. Easy. Right. So based on who you have tomorrow, okay, I have 4 people. How many people do you have in your team right now, Catherine? 4, 5, 3,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
4. All right, cool. So you have 4 people on your meeting. So you need to make a 40 demo gap. So let's make sure we can at least get half of that tomorrow at the phone jam. Maybe we can get more, but at least get half. So if we have to get at least half of our 40 demo deficit for your 4 reps, that would be that'd be 20 demos if they're each getting 5 demos booked at your phone jam tomorrow night, right? So your team meeting phone jam, right, is half of the remainder from your training class. So we need 40. So of the 40, so you need each of your 4 kids needs to book 5 demos. That's going to be 20 demos. You still have a 20 demo gap that you need to make up. Where's that coming from? So then that's where Lloyd was saying, you probably want to make sure each of your kids has a 3-day phone jam plan in place, right? Because if you can get 5 of them at team meeting, you have 20 demos left for the rest of your kids, right? Maybe you do, this is where they need to have 2 more phone jams booked for each of them, right? Because if they each do their 2 more phone jams, or if you have your 110K fast starter or 6K fast starter that's pushing out for a big goal, make sure that person gets 10 or 15 demos more on top of their 5, right? Well, now we're down to maybe a 5 5, 10 demo gap, and your other 3 reps could very easily get 3 demos. That's 3 extra demos per person, you know, 2 extra, 3 per person would get you 9, and that's your goal, right? And then, so what's that? 2 more phone jams means that each of your kids needs to book at least, they're going to be 2 demos booked for each of their other 2 phone jams, right? And there, you put together 130 demos, and you'll sell 13K this week. So that's a quick just breakdown, and it's not going to be perfect, and don't think like, oh my gosh, but like that's just the general place you want to be at. So you know, Catherine knows I need to try to do this, right? Because if not, you're like, it's pop week, stuff is going to happen. It doesn't. You have to have your demo goal, and know what you're shooting for with your team. And here's the cool thing, Catherine, whenever you're focused on that and you make sure your team has the demos lined up ahead of them, what's going to happen then is, because you've done all that work, because you have your team set up, because you have your existing team set up and your first weekend fast start team set up, when you're doing all that right, and then your fast starter pops on top of that, hey, that's exciting. That's an exciting time, right? And I've seen so many people forget about the rest of their team and just hope that their one fast starter pops. I've been guilty of that a lot, right? Love it. I've been guilty of that a lot. So we need to just keep in mind that we want to do our best to get all of the plates spinning. Well, if you don't know that analogy, have you ever seen like the circus performers where they spin the plates or spin the basketballs on the little, all right, so it's trying to get like all the balls spinning or all the plates spinning, and you got to keep them spinning. But when you're doing that, when it comes to your demo creation, it's gonna be exciting. So your pop week happens if you promote it, one, right? And then and then the other thing, make sure you give out some Memorial Day sales. We have Memorial Day sales specials. So make sure your entire team knows a big thing about Pop Week is Pop Week lines for Memorial Day week, and we have sick Memorial Day sales. I need you to get this at team meeting tomorrow night. Do not miss team meeting tomorrow. We're giving out all the Memorial Day specials after phone jam tomorrow night. So you want to be ready for it, because these are the things that like there's going to be people, for real, Catherine, that like you saw your first weekend that maybe only bought like 2 or 3 knives. And when I give you these Memorial Day weekend specials, you can go back and show them those. And dude, I promise you're going to get at least 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 of the people that just bought like a 2-pack of table knives, that they're going to say, whoa, I didn't know this special was here. And you're going to sell, dude, probably at least a Memorial Day. Well, I'm not going to tell you what the specials are yet. I don't want to ruin it. So just get excited. But we're going to go through those in a minute. And when you see these, like, you're going to be like, wow, can we do this always? Mm-hmm. Memorial Day first. So anyway, you just promote it, something like that, because you're just building the hype. Because they're already kind of hyped about the job. So just utilize their excitement to build that momentum. And just remember, whenever we're talking momentum, new creates momentum. New creates momentum, new creates momentum. So a new rep creates momentum, new programs create momentum, a new contest creates momentum, new always creates momentum, a new campaign creates momentum, right? So new creates momentum. And so it's our job to be capturing that momentum whenever we're getting new people coming in. So that's a big thing right now for this time of year. Since we're having people come in, we're going to naturally get momentum building because we have new energy, right? I said new creates it. There's new energy coming into the thing. So we use that new energy to like push that energy in the right direction. So it builds and builds and builds. And the good managers are the ones that are really talented at taking that new energy and putting it into like a multiplier effect, and really making the energy into some big chain reactions. And I think we see that with our good managers, and even with our bad managers, they're still going to get a little bit of cool stuff going, just because there's some new energy and there's a little bit of excitement, and they have a good phone jam, right? But use it to take your good phone jam to a great phone jam, and you got to know your numbers. I think that's what I would say, Kathy.
I like it. I just added, thank you for sharing, and thank you for reminding that Pop Week also includes Memorial Day weekend sales, because I totally blanked on that. So I just like made this while you were talking. I'm going to grab my new one here. I just added some memorial. You guys can do this in like a couple minutes. It doesn't take very long. Let me put the new one I just did, which has the Memorial Day.
Just share it with us in the group. We don't have to make one.
Yeah, there we go. Well, I think it's cool. I want to see some of your guys. I will share, but you guys can also make, but yeah, there we added a little Memorial Day right around my head. So one, like these are very simple things, right? One, your backdrop, right? What is it promoting? So it should have Memorial Day sales. It should have pop. If you're promoting pop, this is it. Last year, we just had Memorial Day sale background. We didn't talk about pop at all. Like, I don't think I've talked about pop week the last 2 years, and it's definitely hurt us because people like rise up. Oh, it's pop week. Oh, I'm gonna like, they just do more. And so then naturally, like, then you end up popping. But if you don't talk about it, people think, oh, it's a weekend to take off, right? So are you guys talking about the fact that you don't want to be taking off this weekend? You know, like I mentioned this in training this past week when I popped in, but I said, you guys are training the best time, you know, and this next week and in advanced training too. I was like, you guys have Memorial Day weekend, you know, in your fast start. Like people are planning on shopping this week. They've literally planned to shop this week because of all the sales, because of everything happening. So thankfully for us, like the media has done so much of the work for us where people are like planning on spending money. Don't close your store. I'm like, do you guys know any store? And this is what I said. I'm like, do you know any store that's closed on a holiday weekend? I'm like, the malls have extra support, extra people on holiday weekends because of how busy it is. They would be crazy to close their store on a holiday weekend. And so I always tell our reps, treat it the same way. Your sample kit or your virtual presentation or whatever, like that is your store. Have that sucker open this weekend and you will make some money.
And can I be honest with you? If I can be honest real quick, just 1 second, I really need to let you know that, like, please don't wait to have your demos on Memorial Day and let the lady already spend her spending money on it at the mattress store, right? Mm-hmm. Like, let's get these demos booked earlier and before, right? So if we can be doing them on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday, please do them. Please do them earlier. Get them booked earlier. So that we get her before she goes and buys the new refrigerator, right? We get her before the money spent on the new mattress or the I don't know, new fill in the blank, the new power washer. I have no clue what these people buy. But honestly though, they're gonna go out and get before the new oven, before the new whatever. Be the person that they see before that. So they're telling the mattress salesman, man, I would love to buy this mattress, but I just bought this really great new set of kitchenware for our kitchen. Like, don't let that get reversed where she's telling you, I just bought the new mattress. Like, get there early. Get there early. She wants to spend money with someone. Let it be you. That's what I would encourage also. Like, let them know that.
Yep. It's huge. And if you guys set that tone, like here's the deal. If you guys don't talk about this, your people, because you have a flexible job and they get to make their own schedule, will be planning on going away for the weekend and doing whatever because their new job is super flexible and they don't have to work, right? And they can just go out on the boat all weekend. That will happen. So I just want to make sure you guys know and understand that that's like a real thing. Okay. So what are you doing to set it up to create an eagerness and an excitement to want to work and not just to be out on the boat. And it's like, yeah, go on the boat all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, you know, like, yeah, you know, go out, like if they want to go out this week and great. I always tell them like, you want to go have some fun, but like, you don't want to be closed all weekend, you know, like, so you might pick a certain time that your store is open or your store is closed. But you just want to be mindful that like, this is a huge sales weekend and people actually put aside money to shop, you know, so are you taking advantage of that? So just making sure that you guys are reiterating that with people. Ads, go ahead. Just thinking.
5 on Tuesday. It's a 5-day week. It's an 8-day week. So Memorial Day is on Monday. We also need to make sure we have 5 on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, even if they're at the lake, which no big deal, let them go to the lake if they really want to. Like, don't be an ass. But encourage them, like Kathy said, and even if they are out on the boat doing whatever on the weekend, it's still a 8-day week. So everyone on your team should have 5 demos on that Tuesday. 5 demo Tuesday, like everyone, at minimum 5 demos, right? So even your kids that are having a great fast start, it'll finish them strong. It finishes them strong. It helps everyone. It helps everyone. 5 demos for that last day of that last day of the week, especially because it's Tuesday. So it eliminates all excuses, even if they are out. Cool. If you're out, we're still doing 5. Everyone does 5 on Tuesday, 5 on Tuesday, 5 on Tuesday.
Something that I'd love for somebody to do is create another slide that you guys can share that has
Tear it
like
up Tuesday.
Huh?
Tear it up Tuesdays.
There you go. Tear it up Tuesday. I need something that has like ads of like big ticket stuff that's on sale. So it's like boats on sale from blank to blank, cars on sale, refrigerators, televisions, like things that are thousands and $10,000s of dollars. Cool.
If you
Like
live in
to
an
have
apartment, go check your mail right now.
yeah, so have them. So by the way, yeah, any like mail, if you go to the grocery store and you see like any ads, like, you know, there's stuff that's mailed to your house that have like all these Memorial Day special ads. But then you guys can create a slide as well for training, because the first day you could have pop, right? And the next day you could have all the Memorial Day sales ad behind you, and it's like, or switch them, but you're just like, hey guys, there's so many, like people are not going to be just spending like $50, $100 doing, like people are planning on spending hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands this weekend on different items for their home, for barbecuing, for camping, for whatever. And so having examples of that behind you, I think is super positive.
Sergio, or Patricio, can you make that for a slide for us for this weekend? Make those for us. For training.
Cool. And share them because I want to see your slides. I like them. Mine are kind of ghetto. So anyway, any promotions. And then if you have a live office, like having any ads that you can print, if you don't find newspapers, then just print ads from online. This is what we did. Black and white copies on red, white, and blue paper. And we just pasted them all over the walls. And so this is something, Claudia, we need to put this together and talk to our guys so we can send Molly, if you can find ads, but get said stuff to print so that tomorrow for training, we can post stuff out. When people walk into the office, they see like ads and stuff everywhere of like things that are thousands and tens of thousands. Cool. That's what we want to have around. It creates a buying culture. Like when they walk in, they see it and they're like, ooh, you know. So if everyone in the office can put some stuff together, can get 10, 15, 20 potential ads or copies of stuff. Maybe it's just like you find 6 or 7 things you like and you get 3 copies of each of them, but just to post them around the office is great. Cool. So if you have people coming in live, like having ads on the wall, having, this on your screen when you're chatting, if you guys are on Zoom for any reason, I don't know how you're doing your training. I know some of you guys are virtual, some of you guys are hybrid. We're hybrid, so we have both happening. But just making sure that people are seeing that. So the other thing that he talked about, and so at the stores, go to the dollar store, Pop-Tarts, popcorn, anything that says pop on it. I remember getting oh shit, I forgot the name of it now.
Pop Rocks.
Pop Rocks. We got Pop Rocks, and we had those, and we gave them out in training. Pop Rocks, and so just like anything that says pop or whatever, that's worth. You don't have to spend $50. I usually spend $20 to $30 when I went and bought all this stuff. And
yeah, I don't know how much stuff costs at the dollar.
So we couldn't use the pop, not the Pop Rocks candy, but the little things you throw and they pop, like
poppers.
Yeah, the little poppers. So Mel would get those for us, and we could use them in the training room, like throw them at the wall and stuff, but only if we booked the demo. Like
I don't want my walls full of that shit and having to clean it, but that's a great idea.
I love
it's full of holes in the wall.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it.
Oh wow, because we'll throw them anywhere.
Actual fireworks.
Yes.
So anyway, but I just like, again, this is, you guys have today and tomorrow, right, to get this stuff together. Some of us have orientation tomorrow, the rest of you guys on Thursday. So when is that happening, today or tomorrow? When are you going to the store to grab some stuff? When are you putting ads together? Like that needs to be in your schedule or it's not happening. Okay. So I want to make sure that that's there. And then with the phone jam. So something that the pilot is starting tomorrow is we're going to do a Champions Club every day. Non-push from 10:15 to 11:45. So we're going to do a workshop at 10:15, and then we're going to have lunch jam from 11 to 11:45, but we're just going to be promoting Champions Club Monday through Friday, 10:15 to 11:45 to our guys. just for learning, for accelerated growth, for camaraderie. And definitely if someone hasn't booked their demos for the day, making sure that they get to Champions Club so that they can book some same day stuff. And then Saturdays, you know, we always do that from 9 to 10:30 a.m. on Saturdays. So we're incorporating that immediately. And really, I was talking to Spencer last night and I said, this can just be almost like just private coaching time, right? Like anyone, like come with your questions. Like maybe we have topics that we're doing some days. I said, I think that the Thursday workshop, we should always have a sexy topic so that Wednesday night of the team meeting can drive signups for it, you know? So it's like how to sell ultimates or like whatever, you know, just something that people are excited about learning. But throughout the week, it's like, hey, come with your questions, come to get support during that time. And I said, and based on who comes, it's like, hey, shoot out your top things you guys want support with, and then be able to like serve and give to that. You might not be at that level where you can just like on the fly teach to whoever on whatever they need. So utilize videos, cool. Utilize videos. There's so much great stuff on Vector Connect. There's so much stuff on my YouTube channel. So many things, and you guys can watch it yourself, take notes and regurgitate the message, right? So that you're teaching it. Or, you know, if you don't have time, you can just have one of your reps play the video and have people debrief while you're in an interview or whatever. It doesn't have to be you doing it, right? This is, again, the power of developing new people, you know, is like, can you ask one rep, a different rep each day, right? Like I have a rep who's running it on Tuesday. I have a rep who's running, and so they'll play a video, you know, I'll give them a video that I think would be good, or to watch ahead of time if they want to teach it. But what are you putting in place to start getting your people good? Guys, we're 3 weeks away from playoffs, or actually shit. Yeah. We're 3 weeks away. I was like, are we 2 weeks? No. Next, when this week ends, we'll be at 2 weeks. But we're 3 weeks away from playoffs. So that's something that I want you guys thinking about right now. How many people do you have that are like locked in and excited for Alliance? I can tell you that I don't think the pilot has anyone yet, because I don't know that that's been on the radar. It's got to be. So from PDI starting today, tomorrow, like super important that we're like talking to people, targeting people, and starting to get commitments now of people who are going to be on our starting lineup. Cool. So who do you have currently on your team? 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. Who are you having conversations with? And this training class for us, for the pilot, this training class is our needle mover. Cool. Like we launched 7 last week. They all came to advanced training. They all had a sale except one, which is great, but it was small, you know, and that was really the start of things. And it's the whole 3 weeks to have the group you want. That was, you know, first training class. This second one's going to be hopefully massive. And I hope that we have an incredible show. And then next week is going to be even bigger, combining all the PRs from this and the people that are naturally applying and the graduations. And so, you know, with that, like, there's a focus, and like we're talking about it in training, right? I talked about it in the SLDM last week, but you guys, as you're in training this week, is it in your opening? By the way, no leader's guide has it in there. It says you're starting at the best time of the year, but have you guys made a note to talk about how season opener just happened, and this Wednesday is going to be our first divisional team meeting. And so getting to start when the whole division gets to see each other. We haven't been together since last year, right? So are you talking about that? Are you promoting that to create a desire for people to want to come to Houston? Are you talking about the Olympics that we're going to have afterwards, and be like, and basically we're scouting, Mrs. Kristen's going to be meeting people, and we're scouting to finalize and get our group together for our starting lineup. So are you guys talking about that in your training, that they know that we're going to be keeping a lookout over the next, week, 2 weeks to put together, assemble a group? What's your number? Is it 5? Is it 7? Is it 10? You need to promote a number. Pick a number right now. So I'd love to hear everybody's number for like what you're talking about for starting lineup. So for us, it seems far out, but I think we can still make it happen. I want 25 people in our office. So right now I've got 11 people on my team, but with 2 good launches, I think that we can really make that happen and like get people excited about being a part of that group. So at a bare minimum, before the push starts, I want to make sure we have a minimum of 16 locked in, because I think that part of that's going to come from the kids who are in that last training class, like who are committing them in their fast start to be a part of that group. Go ahead.
So if you go back, I think this is something we planned on your spreadsheets. You guys should have made a goal about how many people did you want on your on each of your alliances. So yeah, and Corey uses his big calendar. I love you, Corey. So then if you can pull that up real quick, Patricio, Sergio, Garrett, Corey, so we can share that with Kathy, please.
Yeah, let's hear numbers. What's your number? I think branches even have new offices, like a goal of 5 is like if you have 5 people locked in for the push, that's fantastic. If you can get 7 or 10, great. I had 3 in my branch and we won number 1. And I poured into those 3, man. We crushed it. All right. So what's your number? Like realistically, like I think 5 is a really good number. 7 is solid. 10 is amazing. All right. But how many do you feel right now? You're like that you can get.
Yeah, timeout. We made attendance goals, not alliance goals. That was my
Okay, yeah, no, how many do you, what is your target? What are you focused on to have on your alliance? So Catherine.
I want to try for 7.
All right, cool. So have you had conversations with anyone yet?
Nope.
Okay, cool. And then Claudia.
Put it in the chat, but 10.
Oh, sorry, I'm not looking in the chat. Mr. Corey.
I don't have a set alliance goal because we haven't gone over that, but probably it's going to be around 10. And
I was going to say, I'm going to make one for you, 10. Or you can say 12, Dirty Dozen. You can promote. We were looking for a Dirty Dozen.
Dirty Dozen.
Way.
12 then.
So Dirty Dozen. And just promoting that, but I'll put 10 plus. But yeah, just having something like so Catherine, you can promote Lucky 7, right? Like I love the play on the names. Like that's something I did for like fall and spring, people picking their weekly number. Lucky 7, perfect 10, Dirty Dozen, but picking a number and having a rally behind it that your people can get excited about, being part of the Lucky 7, being part of the perfect 10, being part of the
fabulous 15.
Fabulous 15. Yes.
No.
All right. So Garrett, what's your number, sir?
I'm gonna go Lucky 7 as well.
Cool. I like it. Sergio.
I like the lucky number 7. I like the ring of that. Yeah.
Patricio, he's on the phone. Grace.
I'm gonna go 7 as well.
All right. Adioye.
Lucky number 7. Let's do it.
All right. And let's see here. Nadia.
Let's go with the fabulous 5.
I like it. Fabulous 5. And then do we get everyone? And then who am I missing? Anybody? Oh, Patricio's on the phone. So by the way, so this, and even if you just totally were like, Lucky 7 sounds great, let's promote the shit out of it. Cool. So on PDI today with your 1 or 2 reps on in training with whoever, like, hey, I'm looking for 7 people, the Lucky 7 that are going to represent the Nacogdoches branch for the playoffs for Vector Marketing. And you want to make it really big, like they're a part of being part of the starting lineup for one of the top divisions for a $250 million company. How sick is that going to look on their resume, right? Like you guys need to really build that up. So people are like, hell yeah, I want to be a part of that. I'm like, you get to put on your resume that you were part of this focus group, Lucky 7, who was part of the starting lineup for one of the top divisions for a $250 million company. So make sure that you guys are promoting the shit out of that. And then still trying to find fun names that you guys were promoting that. And then this weekend, please make a note for yourself on Saturday or Sunday. Like you need to target and have target conversations with at least 5 people by Sunday. Cool. And some of you guys, maybe you don't have that big of a launch and you're like, all right, well then the 3 I have, I'm going to talk to all of them about it. Here's the deal. If you don't have tons in surplus, you talk to each person. I want to share something really quick. This week in 2009, shocked the whole world in Vector. 2008, my office had just done $1.2 million. We had broken the all-time new business record. This had been held for at least a decade and a half, if not multiple decades, right? And we were so proud of ourselves. We were so happy. Whatever. We start 2009 summer, right? Trends are good. We're kicking butt, whatever. This effing week, all right? There was a guy named Mike Muriel, who's a central region manager, who was a district manager at the time, or division manager. But Mike had his summer was going real shitty. Cool. They weren't launching it. Like they just had a super slow start. And like there was nothing really on the boards for the summer so far. Okay. And this week when they were in training, the last week of May, I remember it was last week of May to first week of June was the People's Fast Start. He launched. And by the way, my number might be off. I don't remember if it was 8, 9, or 10 people, but it was somewhere in that bracket that he launched. And he basically said to them, like, you guys are the people that I want to build with. You guys are the people that we're going to build the most magical summer, right? Hyped it up. And he said, here's what we're going to do for 1 week. We're going to meet every single day together. I'm going to coach you guys. I'm going to support you guys. I'm going to pour into you. And you are going to learn as much as people learn working here 3 or 4 months in your first week because of the attention and focus that we're going to have on getting you guys great, right? He builds this up and he basically had his whole training class, their first week, they met every day. And so they basically had alliance every day. And guys, they popped a $60,000 new business week. He had, I think it was 10 people and 8 of them did between 6 and 10K or plus for their fast starts. He had a 20K fast starter. He had 15, he had 12K. He had, I think he had 4 or 5 that were above 10K. And then he had a bunch between 6 and, or another handful between 6 and 10K. But every single person, he's like, I think he had mentioned there was like 1 person that did under 6K, but he just like poured into these guys. And by the way, that set them on a trajectory to go break our record from the summer before. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? This shit's been standing for decades and this guy just comes in and they hadn't done shit, but it was a decision. And I share that because we all have a choice to make. We all can make a decision and go, all right, the shit stops now. Let's go. And like, are we fully committed? Are we fully pouring into our people? Are we fully like, just like if you'd been shipping 20, 30, 50K these last couple of weeks in new business per week, do you have that level of excitement with your people and going in and you're like, oh, let's see what happens next week. Like your energy and your excitement matters and your people feed off of you. So how are you showing up when you're going to run training is a really big deal. And just like the energy. And so you can't forget that. So Sergio, I love you. We got to pump that energy up, right? Because your reps are going to be 2 or 3 notches lower than you. And even if you're like, well, you're just like, use your eyes. You're like, oh my gosh, you got to see this. Oh, you got to check this out. Oh, I can't wait. Like you're someone I could see as one of our top people, right? Do they see that? And so it's really important that your nonverbals, like even if you're not someone who's naturally super loud and animated, you don't have to be, but they need to feel your excitement. Okay. They need to feel it. And you can do a lot of that with your nonverbals. All right. So any comments or questions on any of that, but just making sure like you had that number. So we're promoting it. And as you guys lock people in, and guys, you could put something on your board in the office that says lucky 7, right? And you can start putting, and as you lock someone in and it's like, boom, recognize them, post it in your group me. I want to congratulate, Grace being the first of our lucky 7 committed for our alliance coming up in 3 weeks. So excited to get to coach you and lead you. So excited to prepare you for what's going to be our best playoffs yet. Right? Are we promoting that? Cody signs and he's like, I'm in, I want to be a part of starting. And we talk and I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, I'm gonna lock you in. You're gonna be one of those. I'm like, all right, and congrats to Cody, number 2 of our lucky 7. And so are you guys counting it down over the next 3 weeks? That's really huge, really powerful for your organization, making sure that that's happening. All right. Any other things, any other questions with that? All right, cool. So I want to move to the next thing that I had here. So we've got next Wednesday. All right. So I wanted to go through real quick in terms of agenda, what we want to do, and making sure that we're ready to support. All right. Hold on one moment. Sorry. And help split. Okay. I just need help supporting the interview. So Tuesday, I want to lock in because I remember we had 5 to 8, we had 4:30 to 7:30 then because we were going at 8. I want to make sure we're on the same page in terms of Wednesday's team meeting. 4:30 to 7:30. Are we good with that? Like arrivals by 4, start getting people in, mix and mingle, whatever. And we like start the meeting at 4:30, do some opening and then go into learning and then go into phone jam and then have a powerful wrap up is what I was thinking.
June 1st? June 1st?
Yes, June 1st, which is next Wednesday.
Yeah.
1 week. So can we plan on telling all your teams arrivals between 4 and 4:15?
Mm-hmm.
And actually I wanted to check, and I don't have Grace. Are you guys moving in this weekend to the office? Okay. All right, cool. So Yeah, we'll be at ours. I'm like trying to figure out because we're like gonna have live training. So we're finishing training at 5:30 and then we have the team meeting. And so I don't know how that's gonna roll. So I need to put some thought into it or see if I just have to rent a different place. Because our original place was booked, and then the other place that we're gonna have the meeting on the 13th is closed after 6. So I originally thought we were going to have Jacob had a bigger office that has space for us to be able to run it there. And I was going to pitch in cash towards there. But yeah, so I'll figure that out here in the next 24 hours. We'll have that locked in. But yeah, so 4 to 4:15 will be arrivals. Right now, just promote the office. I just need to figure out what we're going to do. And then let's just walk through agenda. So 4:30, we'll be opening. All right, opening comments. And so I'll share some stuff there. But I'd love for someone like right after me, before we go into learning, to just like give a 15-minute or whatever, like what this summer could do for you. And just kind of sharing their personal story and getting people excited about like learning and growing and whatever. Is there anyone that'd be excited about doing that? Nobody likes their job. Nobody wants to share. So
Good at it.
Originally I had Garrett as a possible for this and just sharing, because like sharing about sales, income that you're able to earn, the people that you're able to meet, you know, getting a chance to run your own business at a young age, like just kind of walking through all the like opportunities that this can open, you know, and like, you know, I don't know for you if you got involved early with the top people, you know, but if not, just being able to share, like, I'm so glad that I got involved early with like top people and got to learn from them. Or it's, I wish I would have gotten connected with the top people sooner in my career, you know, because I know how much that impacted, like just getting to be around the top people and getting extra support and coaching, and what that can do for you guys. And so just kind of promoting, like, you know, if I'm you, I'm doing everything I can to be part of the alliance, be part of the starting lineup, you know, coming up in 2 weeks. So just kind of plugging that with opportunity. So I don't know if you want to put together like just a little quick outline and we can look at it. But yeah, they should be like, ooh, I want to be like Garrett and I want to be part of the alliance. That's how that should end. Cool.
Sounds good.
Cool. So we'll have Garrett on, and then we're going to break out for learning workshops. Okay. Now I wanted to ask you guys in terms of breaking out for learning, what we want to do. Do we want to, we can do 2, I really like the roundtable style. And so we can just do like the whole hour, or we can roll whatever, but basically the next hour is learning time, right? So they could do 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. We could just rotate them so that we split through rooms. And they all like, you know, you go to Rex, you go to here, you go whatever, and you come with your questions, and like they give tips and support in the room, like roundtable style. And then we switch, you know, and if they want to stay in the same room and keep like asking questions, learning, they can. If not, they rotate. That's what I was thinking initially. Thoughts, feedback on how I want to do that, just so that they get like, they can ask questions from like leaders, and like just having 2 or 3 of us in each room, almost like a panel, you know, for each thing, and then like letting them rotate through. But I'm open to suggestions.
Corey, Claudia.
On the tables,
Mhm.
I'm fine with doing a table.
I'm saying on how we do this. Are you guys like from 5:30 to 6:30 is learning time, and then 6:30 to 7:30 is phone jam, and at 7:30, or I guess to like 7:15 really, or 7:30 we can do a quick wrap up, like someone like crush a 5 to 7 minute like wrap up, and then send us to the park for festivities. So 5:30 to 6:30 is learning. Do we want to have them in different rooms and doing more personal type, like I feel they're more engaged that way, you know, and then do we just like let the hour go and let them just move around how they want, or do we give them, say, hey, every 20 minutes we'll let you know, like, hey, if you guys want to rotate to the next room, you know, they can move, and if they don't want to move, they don't have to, but just to like get some support with like closing sales, get some support with recommendations, get some support with booking more appointments.
Yes, but I would say let's let's make a plan on what we're gonna talk about at those tables and try not to have too many. That way we can at least make sure there's at least like 6 people at each table, 7 people at each table.
Claudia, we're not doing tables, babe. This is what's happening. We've got 3 rooms, right?
Oh, room.
Oh, I said, that's why I'm,
Okay, yeah, I'm saying like in our office, like they're in your room, they're in this room, they're in that room, like they're rotating rooms. So I'm saying like round table style learning, but no tables. It's just like 3 rooms. One room is closing room and closing more sales and increasing your average order. Any questions on that? One room is phone, and we could have whoever's in there, like you guys give 5 to 7 minutes of tips and then let them just go Q&A. But we want them to be able to ask questions and you guys can teach based on what they need, is what I was thinking, to just make it like feel really like personalized. But yeah, just 3 different rooms. And I was just saying, do we just keep rotating them, or we just let them for the hour hop around from room to room however they want, or time it?
I would do rotating to where you're guiding them, because especially with new reps, they typically get lost and then they don't really take advantage or don't know how to take full advantage of asking the right questions and knowing what they should be asking or talking about, because they seem a little lost and it's very overwhelming. So I would put a structured time limit to it.
Cool. And we'll just say, if you're like really wanting to stay in a certain room, you're totally welcome to, but we're going to encourage you guys to rotate to the next room so that you can get some different like coaching and learning. And that'll be, so it really is just going to be about, 15, like, I don't know, 16, 17 minutes in each room, and they'll get some tips and they'll get some stuff and rotate, or they can stay in there, because as people are moving, actually, even as people are moving, those of you who guys are leading it, you guys can keep talking, like if one person stays in there, you're still talking to them and other people are coming in, and then launch it again. I'm just trying to think like flow wise of stuff, what that looks like. All right. So then let's talk.
So it's phone and closing Rex rooms.
Yeah. So that's what I need is who's in what room. So we've got a closing room and tips on closing. We've got a Rex room and maximizing more recommendations. And that can include, or I don't know, hold on. And then we have phones / getting more appointments. So that can include, so phones would be like firm up, building urgency tips, firm up, excuse me. And then, whatever they need help with, like on the phones. Rex, I'm trying to think in terms of like rapport and building rapport. Or do we do it phones and Rex as one room? Or we can do 4 rooms. We have room for 4 rooms.
Do we have time for 4 rooms? Okay.
No. So we could, so phones and goals, or we could scratch phones. And then when we come back together, we can give a 5-minute like tips on phones and then put them into the phone jam, like we could just do that as like a 5 to 7 minute, like here's some tips to crush the phone, and then get them on the phones. What do you guys prefer?
I like the 5-minute tips right before phones.
Okay. So let's say we gave them 20 minutes to go into any of these rooms. So we've got closing, we've got Rex, and we've got sharing goals. We're going to do those as our 3 rooms. And then when we come back together, we'll come back together by 6:15. So that'll be 5:45. Yeah, we'll be good there. So 6:15, we'll do phone tips and then get on the phones. All right. Is there anyone that wants to do the phone tips? If not, I can do them.
I would love to see your phone tips.
Okay. Who wants to be in the closing room? Who wants to be in the Rex room? Who wants to be in the sharing goals room?
Corey's a closer. So is Claudia.
I'll take goals.
All right. Claudia will be in goals. Who else is going to be with Claudia? Corey, you want to be in closing room?
Sure.
Cool. Who else? I'd love to have 2 or 3 of you in each room and then others helping us orchestrate moving people.
I can be in goals.
Who said that?
Catherine.
Okay. Catherine is in goals. All right, cool.
I can do Rex.
Adeoye and Rex. Who else can be in Rex?
Sergio.
I would love to do Rex, but I'm not able to be there in person. Yeah.
We can have you on a computer.
Okay. I could probably do that.
It'll
Yeah.
be with me. The computer will be fine.
All right, cool.
Or Patricio can be with Adeoye on Rex.
Patricio, where do you want to be? Closing Rex, sharing goals.
Let's do closing.
Oh, Patricio and Corey.
Yes, sir.
All right, awesome. Where else? Garrett, where do you want to be?
I think I'm gonna jump into closing with the boys too.
Oh, baby.
All
That's
right.
a squad.
Closing looking sexy. All right, Rex, we got Adeoye and Sergio via computer. Who else on recommendations?
Who else is good? Dia? Kathy? I don't know. Great.
Nadia's good at Rex. I mean, she's sold in every state. So,
Have class.
oh,
at the
okay, grad
back.
student.
She has class 5 to 9.
What about Megan?
Okay, I'll check with the others and see where we plug them in. Cool. So we'll do that. So we'll do some rotating rooms. I'll get the timing of the final agenda, so we have that. And then we'll do phone tips and then do a phone jam. And so when we go into phone jam, you guys should grab your people, and whether you're in the reception area or you're in the ping pong room or you're in the other room, like if we're in our office, like just kind of spread it around there. I just need to figure out logistics with our training of what we are going to do on Wednesday. Because I might end up actually just booking a hotel for our training or that place for our training because it might be
3 weeks.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll check anyway if they have an opening by chance. Say, let us know if this is open, but we're so excited. I want to follow up and make sure everything's paid for the 13th. All right, cool. So this looks good. And then wrap up. We need a quick, motivating, inspiring tips to kick butt or whatever. You guys can look at stuff online. You can look at stuff from a book or just bring it. But
I'll do it.
something inspiring, motivating. All right, but keep concise and powerful. Boom, boom, boom. And then let's go play.
I'll save my wrap up for playoffs.
All right.
Bring
Cool.
back that
All right.
oldie but a goodie.
I like it. Huh?
Nothing. I said she's nothing.
Okay. I'm trying to see if there's anything else for Pop Week calendar. Okay. So last thing was so for next week for June 1st, like realistically, guys, so that I can make sure we have a proper plan in place. How many people do you see coming live? So as of right now, with who you have on your team, and then like maybe you're adding 2, 3, 4 more. So maybe your total's 3, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 7, maybe it's 10. But I want like a very realistic, not like I'd love to have this many. It's next week, next Wednesday. What number can we count on you having? The answer can be 2. Do not feel bad. I want real numbers of like how many people you feel you'll have in attendance live next week.
In 6 to 8.
All right, cool. Catherine.
I think 5.
All right. I need, if we can please, Catherine, if you can get John's number for me. I know that he had something now. But I need John's number at some point today. Claudia.
5 to 7.
All right. Garrett.
Probably hitting 2.
Okay, cool. You plus someone.
Yes.
Bring him. Sergio, will you have anyone live?
Yeah, I could do 4 to 5.
All right. Patricio, how many?
5 to 7.
How many do you think you're going to have? Or what are you promoting this week, the next 3 weeks for your alliance, for your starting lineup? You were on the phone when we went over that.
What I'm really going to be promoting is especially like getting them to 10K as fast as possible, showing them.
How many people do you want on your alliance? Are you promoting we're going to have Nadia, what'd you say for the 5? It
Fab
wasn't
5.
My mic froze. We're doing Fab 5.
Fab 5. So Fab 5, be part of the Fab 5. These
I'm
are
out.
the 5 people that are
So
going to be.
Patricio, whenever we have a push week, we have a group of people called the Alliance, which you're
Oh, I
aware
know.
of. Okay, so how many do you want on your SC1 Alliance?
I'm looking about maybe 10. That's what I want to aim for. That's how many people I want.
Okay.
Maybe you should do Nifty 9.
Nifty 9, sure. I'm looking like 9-10 area.
You can be a part of the perfect 10. All
That
right.
was a good one. I like that one.
All right. And then
That was a good one, Kathy.
Adioye, live people.
1 right now. Just me.
Okay.
Oh, dude, you have a week. You can get someone else.
I'll try. I'll let you know if anything changes, but right now, just me.
All right, cool. And then Grace, how many do you think you'll have live?
She left. I think she's in an interview.
Okay, cool. So I'll get Grace, but we need Megan.
John says 15.
Live?
Let me check.
Yeah. And then Jacob. All right, cool. So leaving here. What are you grabbing for Pop? What are you grabbing for team meeting tomorrow and for training this week to promote? You have your number. Do you have your ads? Make sure that that's ready. By Sunday, have you had a conversation with a minimum of 3, if not 5 people, talking about the Alliance, and just saying, hey, I'm looking to form a group, the Lucky 7, that we're going to be coaching, that's going to be representing for the West Houston office for playoffs, and just having that conversation and say, you're someone that I really would love to have as part of that group. And then just ask and be like, is that something that sounds interesting? So like you build up, like, this is a group that I'm doing this. I always like build up the group, and they're our biggest earners, and they're always our scholarship earners, and this is where da comes from. And I thought that you could be a part of it. Is that something that like would interest you at all? And they're like, yeah, right. And then you go from there, you're like, all right, cool. So you can lock them in. Or if they're like, not really, like, you can't push someone, say, hey, well, I want you to think about it. We'll talk more. It's not for 3 weeks, but I just, if you're open to 2 weeks, of really seeing what you're made of going all out with the top people. Like, what I know is that every time people have gone through it, they always talk about the growth they had, and they're always like raving about it. I haven't had someone be on the Alliance that was like, I wish I wasn't on that. Like, people gain so much personally, professionally, and financially. And I'd love for you to get to take advantage of that. So just think about it, and let's talk in the next couple of weeks, because I really think that you could crush it, and I'd love to coach you, right? And just let it be there and let it rest. And some of those people come back to you, by the way, and they're like, you know what? I think I want to do it. And you're like, are you sure? You ready? Be like, I'm so excited to have you, while some will say yes right away. So don't count out anyone who isn't like totally gung-ho at first, like just share like why you think they'd be good and say, hey, marinate on it. We have got a couple weeks, but I really think that this could be awesome for you because it could help you with X, Y, and Z. And again, tie it back to like, what are the goals that they had and how could being on the Alliance help them in that process? Okay. So any other comments or questions before we roll? All right. Time to start getting, and by the way, I'm going to ask you guys on Sunday, how many do you have committed for Alliance? It might just be 1. Great. I want to know, are you at 1? Are you at 2? Are you at 3? Like, where are you at by this Sunday? So everybody be ready for that, because I will be texting you. And I would like to know, and you can just put it in the group me. We're going to say that as you guys lock in people, maybe you talk to someone today, Catherine, and they're like, I want to be a part of that. And they're locked in, post in our group me and say, first one for the Lucky 7 and Katie Seeley locked in, and just be counting down. Like, I'd love for us to all be sharing that and hot news and what's happening as we progress. So if you guys can do that and use the group me, that would be fabulous. Nadia.
When do you want us introducing this with this week's training class? Do you want us doing like just dropping gems in day 1 PC, but not like actually having the convo till they launch? Like, how do we get them there with for next week? Where would you want us to have that lock-in conversation?
For the team meeting or for the Alliance?
Both.
Okay. The conversations should be happening all the time. Like, you can't promote it too much. If you feel you're promoting it too much, you're probably promoting it just enough. So like anytime I have a conversation, like I'm talking about it in training, whatever. And then on the side, it's like, hey, by the way, like as I'm talking about it in opening comments, like you can be messaging some of your people or like looking at someone and pointing at them or whatever. And it's like, or when there's a break saying, by the way, when Kathy was talking about like that, the starting lineup or whatever, like I think that you could be a great part of that. And that's it, right? With the new training, you're just planting seeds. And you're not gonna lock them in for alliance, yet until after they're faster. I normally don't, like I talk about it all throughout and I'm like, hey, let's kick some butt this week, so that we can really see like how your communication, how your discipline, be like, because I really think that you can be a part of this. But like, obviously I haven't gotten to see your work ethic, your communication yet. But I'm excited to coach you this week and see if you have what it takes to be a part of that group. So it's kind of like a little push away, and then it's like, well, I'll show you, Nadia, and they want to do more, or they want to work harder to show you that they can hack it. So I kind of push away on the newbies. I'm like, I don't know if you can handle it, like it's intense. It's 2 weeks. We meet every day at 8 a.m. We're learning together. We're growing together. It's early. And not everyone can hack it, but that's why these are always our biggest earners. This is why our scholarship winners come from this. This is where our internship earners come from, because we know they have what it takes. We know they have the work ethic. We know they have the discipline. And we know that they communicate at a level that we know that they could succeed at very high levels. So it's always like, I'm always like kind of throwing it out there. Like, I think you could do great. Let's see what you got, and in an encouraging way, where they want to show what they're made of.
Okay, thank you.
In terms of team meeting, like, you want to let them know, hey, we have 3 seats available, or we have, and be like, and I definitely would love to have you. I was like, is there any way you can move stuff around so you can be with us live on Wednesday? And getting people there, even though you're going to be in class, I still want to get your people there live. So just, I always like to give them the number, be like, hey, we have 5 spots, or we have 3 spots, or whatever your number is. And so, let me know, like, let me know if I can steal you. I'd really love to have you with us on Wednesday live at the pilot headquarters. And then we'll go from there.
Kathy, on Thursday, I think, well, I don't know if some people might be done with training by then, but up at the Houston club, they're doing free headshots. They're doing like a happy hour and headshots, they're calling it, but it's really from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. If anyone needed a headshot, I think I'm gonna go up there and just, I'm gonna meet with Juan on Thursday anyway up there. So I might be.
Yeah, we've got our training goes till 7:30, really till 8 or 9, as we're like trying to.
Wow. So.
Yeah, we go 1 to 7:30, just to like have a big phone jam with everybody at night. So we will be phone jamming and loading up for Memorial Day weekend in the pilot, but I appreciate it so much. And those of you who go, share your headshots. But yeah, we'll be, and we have, I think, 6 graduations that night as well, that we're trying to figure out how to do training and hit 6 graduations. So that's us. All right, cool. Well, I've got a meeting with Brian now.